Welcome to the Boxing Talk Show.
Fair but firm.
With the Hall of Fame boxing referee.
I'm Joe Cortez.
And co-host John Zemel for all of Las Vegas.
Come on, guys. Let's touch them up. Clean fight. I'm Joe Cortez. Fair but firm.
Welcome to the Fair but Firm Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the boxing capital of the world, with my co-host John Zemel. Joe Cortez here. John Zemel.
Yes, sir.
Again, another great week of boxing.
Yes, sir. Started off early this week.
Yeah, a little early, but nothing really to take a lot of notice of. I mean, there's nothing really much happening in boxing these next couple of weeks until the big one's coming up.
Oh, baby. Yeah, November. They took a little break for November because October got so exciting, so heated. They knew we had to cool off. So they gave us November, which I appreciate. The boxing gods doing that for us. And then now December, December starts off with a bang right away with, Fury and Wilder, December Uno. And then you go, you got Lomachenko fighting. You got Chisora and White fighting. That same day, I think, is, I can't remember the other fight on December 22nd. Yeah. There's so many big fights.
There's a lot of good ones. We'll talk about it later. But last night on ESPN, we had Maurice Hooker stopped Alex Salcedo in the 7th round.
What a fight that was.
It was a pretty good fight. I mean, Salcedo dropped Hooker in the 2nd round.
Mm-hmm.
And it got like people said, wow, the referee going to stop it or what? He weathered the storm, and Salcedo punched himself out.
He really did, man. And you see that a lot. But do you see? Can you think of any other famous examples where you saw a guy that just started real strong, went real heavy, and then kind of got tired? There's a million of those, right? We saw that with Canelo in the first fight.
Well, no, I'm going to tell you about one that everybody remembers very well. Can't miss this one. It was the Rumble in the Jungle. Muhammad Ali. George Foreman was on Muhammad Ali's tail all night long.
Mm-hmm.
Had Muhammad Ali up against the ropes. He was punching him to the body, to the head. And Muhammad Ali was just playing the rope-a-dope.
Rope-a-dope. He invented it right there. He invented it there.
The ropes. He wanted the ropes a little loose before the fight. He told the people, put up the ring. This is how I want the ropes. A little looser because I'm going to play something different tonight. And he knew that Foreman was going to come out to try and knock his head off.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It worked for Muhammad Ali because by the 8th round, Foreman was so punched out, he was gassed out so much that when Ali hit him with that right hand, boom, he went down, and Ali just looked at him. Foreman couldn't even move to hardly get up. He wouldn't even try to get up.
Yeah.
He didn't have no strength. His legs were shot. Everything was, he shot his load, and that was it.
Exactly.
And that's what happens in boxing.
That's what happens, man. You really got to pace yourself. It's a lot of times, boxing is not a sprint. It is a marathon, very much so. You may not want to go all 12 rounds, but you better have gas in your tank to go 12 rounds. You know what I mean? Like if you sense weakness and you have to strike right then you better be sure about it, because if you gas out.
That's right. And you better use premium. Don't use regular.
No. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, premium is important.
It is a premium because it gives you a little smoother ride.
Exactly.
Anyway, but so much is happening with boxing. But talking about the 140 pounders, I'm going to take you guys down memory lane a little bit.
I like this. I like memory lane.
Because I remember Julio Cesar Chavez, a legend in boxing as a 140 pounder. He was really one of the great ones. And I remember one night when he fought here at Caesar's Palace, and he fought Meldrick Taylor. You fans out there listening, you guys remember, go back and think about the stoppage. I mean, Meldrick Taylor was winning every round, just about every round on all scorecards, and with about 2 seconds to go, the referee, Richard Steele, stopped the fight.
There it is.
And the fans said, wow, how can he stop it? I mean, the guy got up, but he was not responding to Richard Steele's command. Are you all right? Are you okay? You okay? And he didn't respond, and he was days out. And I mean, Richard Steele, his job is to watch out for the safety of the fighter. Richard Steele doesn't have a clock in his head. He just knows that this guy's not responding. He's up. He's not responding, and the duty of the referee is to wave it off.
Of course. Hey, I understand that.
A lot of fans said, no.
But I think you understand why it was controversial. I mean, you have to. He heard the tick, tick, tick. He knew there was less than 10 seconds left. He knew there was 2 seconds left in the fight. I mean, the fight was essentially over, and I agree with you. I understand the duties of the referee, and I know that you'll always defend a referee in nature because...
Well, not really.
I mean, not necessarily if, you believe they're wrong, but of course, you'll always see the refere's side. Does that make sense?
Well, we are trained to do one thing.
Exactly.
The first and foremost is to watch out for the safety of the fighter.
Number one.
I don't care what time it is. You know what? The guy's not responding. The rule says if the guy's in a concussive episode... what do you do? You know what?
You can't send him back out there.
I'm trained to stop a fight when the guy's not responding. It doesn't say if it's cut down to the last 5 seconds, let it continue. It doesn't say that in the rules.
No.
It says the guy's hurt. Your job is to stop it immediately. doesn't say stop it 3 or 4 seconds later, because if something goes wrong, they say, why you let it go? I mean, look, so
Safety of the fighter is number one.
yeah, that's the first priority of referees. Sometimes you get criticized for that. I feel sorry for Richards too. He got criticized for like 10 consecutive years.
For years, man. People still bring it up a lot.
Yeah, and but we're bringing it up today just because.
Oh yeah, no, it's
something to talk about.
Undeniably.
The 140 pounders. I remember refereeing the Julio Cesar Chavez when he fought
Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar De La Hoya. I was a referee of that fight, the first one. And that was at 140 pounds. That was also
140 pounds is it's a historic division, man.
It was. So I remember that fight where Chavez got cut in the first round with a hard jab by Chavez, by De La Hoya in the first round. A lot of blood is coming out of that cut of the eye. So my job again is duty as a referee, safety of the fighter. So much blood. I don't know how severe the wound was. So I called time and I brought him over to the doctor to look at the cut to see what he felt. And the doctor, Dr. Filippo Mansky, looked at it. It was a big cut. He said, all right, let it go, Joe. Probably hoping that the cornerman will work on that cut and probably, stop the bleeding. And that didn't happen. So again, they were fighting and they were more blood. Again, I called time again, maybe in the second or third round. And I took it to Dr. Filippo Mansky. Again, he looked at the wound. And we looked at the wound in between rounds. And they were working on it, but it was pretty long cut. It was at least about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a big cut.
Undeniably.
But what happened was that the fighter was being blinded by his own blood. And so, again, my duty is to do what? Protect the fighter. So I think it was in the fourth round. I could take him back to the doctor, Filippo Mansky. I told him, Doc, I think this is getting worse. I mean, his face was all painted in blood, red blood. It was really, unbelievable to see that sight. And I was saying to myself, well, I wasn't freaking out, but I was saying to myself, this doesn't look good. And I know this is a major fight, but I don't care. I look at it, as a referee, you don't look at it as a major fight, what's going to happen down the line.
Oh, of course.
It's what's happening right there in the ring. And these fighters'
You're the
lives.
only one who can protect their safety.
Right.
I mean, that's it. You're the only one.
Their lives are in my hand.
Of course. 100%.
So he's blinded, so what do? I treat these fighters like they're my sons.
You have to.
If they're getting blinded, they can't see punches coming, y'all got to jump in and stop it. So I took him back to the doctor, and he said, Joe, that's it, stop it. And I stopped the fight, and Chavez was all bloodied up, his face, his chest, his arms, his trunks, everything. Never seen so much blood like that in the past. And what happened was Chavez ended up losing the 140-pound division.
A big deal for him because and a huge win for De La Hoya because that's it wasn't his first loss. Obviously, he'd lost a few times before that, but it was kind of a passing of the torch moment.
That's it, passing of the torch.
Speaking of De La Hoya, actually, his cousin Diego De La Hoya, who's been kind of kept in a bubble wrap because for his whole career, but he's got an undefeated record. He's been a lot of people like him. He was supposed to fight today, and he passed out. He fainted from trying to cut weight. And so they had to cancel the fight. When do you see that? I mean, how often do you see people have... Because obviously cutting that much weight in that little amount of time, as we know, that's been the biggest deal. We've known that forever. That's why you try and... Do you do same day? No, that's more dangerous, but sometimes it's less dangerous. And it's one of those really tricky things.
Well, what happens is that when these fighters try to lose weight, I mean, this is something that they have to be disciplined about trying to keep that weight down.
Yes, sir.
I mean, even my own doctor said, Joe, you got to watch your sugar. Stay away from the sugar. For my own good. Say it with the trainer. The trainer got to tell the fighter, hey, guy, watch what you're eating, man. The trainers are like the doctors for the fighters.
Of course.
They're the advisor. They're supposed to be monitoring your weight
your
every
intake.
day.
Making sure that you're not too much sugar, not too much clenbuterol, making sure that that your diet consists of everything everything good for you.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that sometimes you get these fighters that just are not disciplined enough, and they overeat, and then they try to knock off 30, 40 pounds to make the weight. I remember the great Roberto Duran had that problem. He always had a problem. He had to lose 50, 60 pounds.
He liked to eat,
Come
Roberto
on.
Duran. He liked to eat, he liked to drink, and he liked to live.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good for you until you got to defend a 140-pound title, and you got to stay low.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel that it's all got to do about discipline. You have
Yes,
to watch
sir.
what you eat. Even us out there in the free world right now, us as individuals, we have to watch what we're eating.
Undeniably,
we
yeah.
talk. It's good to have a buddy sister. Somebody say, "Come on, watch what you're eating.
Yeah.
You got to watch that sugar. Not too much bread, not too much rice. All that converts into sugar."
Exactly.
But these fighters, they got to learn that. Anyway, going back to Chavez, he fought again at the Alamo Dome in Houston, Texas. 65,000 fans, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second, but let's go to the brief commercial and we'll be right back. Okay, back here, Joe Cortez on a Fair Firm show with my pretty boy here, John Zemel. We were just joking a little bit during the commercial. What a good-looking guy, you know.
Oh, stop it. Thank you very much.
He got all the talent, all the charisma.
The best face in radio.
All,
Yeah,
the,
that's what I'm going
all
for.
the girls are after him.
No,
and
stop it.
He got to kick him away. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Kick him away. That's so silly, Joe.
Well, going back to the
We were talking about De La Hoya, so it makes sense. We stay on the subject of pretty boys.
Yeah. So going back to Whitaker and
Sweet Pea.
and Chavez. Sweet Pea was one of the best fighters. Southpaw, great fight. He was Olympic champion.
Yeah.
And came out to be one of the best ones. Fought Julio Cesar Chavez at the Alamo Dome, of which I was a referee, with 65,000 fans indoors.
It was a draw, right?
Yeah, it ended up a draw, and people kept coming up to me, "Hey, Joe, man, come on, who do you think won that fight?" I mean, they called it a draw. Everybody felt Whitaker won the fight.
And because Chavez was undefeated, right? And they didn't want to, a lot of fans, you know how people like to find controversy. They believe that they were protecting Chavez as zero.
Yeah.
So they gave him the draw, and I think that's what people are
Okay,
alluding to.
talking about protecting his
Protecting the zero?
Is zero. I mean, Mayweather was going up to 49-0. People say he's breaking Rocky Marciano's record.
Yeah.
What happened to Chavez's record when
89-0.
He was 89-0.
And then he fought Whitaker and he got a draw.
Then it was 89 and
0-1.
0-1.
No, exactly. That's one thing I think it gets overstated about the Mayweather thing. So many people hold that 50-0 in regard. I think you have to look at a fighter's whole career, and I think Mayweather's career has said more than enough to not have to look at his record and worry about just the 0 or the 50-0. His record and the people he fought and the way that he beat them, it more than speaks for itself. He made his case for one of the greatest of all time without having to, you know what I mean, just talk about records. But
Yeah, but just off the records and for the records.
and for the record,
I mean, come on. Marciano was 49-0. Come on, but Chavez was 89-0. So come on, guys.
he's fighting a lot of Tijuana taxi capture.
Yeah, that's what Haugen said. He was fighting a lot of Tijuana taxi drivers. And you know what? And Chavez kicked his butt
I know
real
he did.
bad
In front of how many people?
in 136,000 fans, which
Oh,
I was a referee again of that fight.
That's so funny.
And it was people say, "My God, Joe, I mean, how could Chavez take those words from Haugen? He said, you beat a bunch of Tijuana taxi drivers. That's why you got that record. So you're undefeated or something. He had like maybe one draw or whatever. But you know what? Chavez put him down the first round, and Chavez could have kicked his butt.
Yeah, he could have put him down easily. In the first
He
two
could have
rounds,
knocked he could have knocked him out, but he wanted to punish him.
He did. It was so fun.
He says,
"That's a fun fight, guys. Go back and watch that."
Yeah, go on YouTube and check it out.
That's a good fight.
He said, Tijuana taxi drivers, take this. Another Tijuana taxi driver, take that.
Yeah, exactly. Just one
And
after
take
the other.
this.
When did he end up putting him down?
I ended up
Or was stopping it. Yeah,
I stopped it. He had him against the ropes. He had put him down, and then
It was the sixth.
in the fifth round.
Fifth
as well.
round. Cool. Yeah. That's a good fight, guys.
But
Make
it
sure
could
you check
have been in the first round very easily. But Chavez wanted to give
Might have been Mayweather McGregor.
yeah,
Kinda carried him a little bit.
Chavez wanted to give it the 136,000 fans.
Their money's worth.
The money's worth.
Their pesos worth. And they got it, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, unbelievable. But anyway,
Hey, speaking of watching what we eat, tonight we have Jarrell Big Baby Miller fighting against
another big guy.
a really big guy. He goes by Big Baby. He likes the name Big Baby.
Yeah,
It's
but,
not
but the other guy, the Romanian guy, weighs how much? 300 and what?
No. Big Baby weighs 315.
315.
The Romanian guy weighs about 240, which is a big heavyweight. There's no
big.
question. But I mean, it's a middle of the lane heavyweight.
Yeah.
But 315. What do you think about a guy that weighs over 300 pounds? Because he's on the short list of opponents for Anthony Joshua next.
Yeah, well,
he's a guy that he's got a lot of acclaim in England, and but do you think he has a chance against some of the more mobile fighters?
Well, those guys are big. I mean, I remember back in the days when Rocky Marciano, Floyd Patterson, those guys were heavyweight champion. They were 195
They
pounds.
weighed less than me.
I mean,
know.
one of these guys would have just dropped you and sit on top of you, couldn't get up.
Yeah, they were cruiserweights.
I mean, these guys today with that weight after 4 rounds, I guarantee you, they look like elephants trying to move in a ring.
Yeah.
They can't move.
They look like elephants before the 4 rounds. But no, I mean, you look at a guy like, Anthony Joshua weighs like 240, 250, and he carries it well. But 315 with all that size, he looks like Butterbean, man. He looks like British Butterbean, and it's crazy. And you look at Deontay Wilder, right? He weighed in at 214 and a quarter for his Luis Ortiz fight. This guy just weighed in at 315. That means he's got 100 pounds on him. But I would still favor Wilder, right? It's 100-pound difference.
I mean, Wilder would be so quick with the combination.
So much faster.
Bang, 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 boom. The guy.
All it takes is one.
And then he got him running for it. And the guy's ready to drop it.
And good luck running when you weigh 315 pounds.
But sometimes those guys it's hard for the guys to run. So a guy like Wilder will stay on his butt and just keep on punching and punching. The referee has no choice but to stop it. You can't let a fighter who's defenseless.
Oh yeah,
just to continue taking blows.
Well, he weighed 317 his last fight, so he's obviously making progress in the right direction, and that's what's important.
But I'll tell you that it's so dangerous when these fighters, we're talking about weight loss. I mean, that kid De La Hoya.
Yeah, Diego De La Hoya fainted 2 days before the fight, man.
Yeah, you know what? And those guys, what they got to do is, forget the division. They go up to the next class.
Yeah, but a lot of times that's what, nobody walks around at their fighting weight, right? At least, definitely not at their weigh-in rate. Nobody. Not even Mayweather walked around at his weigh-in weight, and he was pretty close. But they all have to dehydrate quite a bit to get down to that. And that's dangerous. No question.
You look at Mayweather right now. You look at him. He looks like
he could fight at middleweight right now. Yeah.
He's like
next week,
154.
Probably.
He guy maintains himself.
He always has though. His weight on fight night versus the day before was always like a 2 pound difference.
You know what? Because the guy, he watches what he eats
every day.
Everything he eats is not doesn't weigh in gait.
He's one of the most disciplined human beings on the planet.
He doesn't gain any weight with that. He just knows that. One day we were having dinner when I was working. Well, I'm still working with ESPN, but he treated me for dinner at a tour. He gave me an all-access tour of his house with my ESPN camera guys. I'll tell you. And then he said, we're ready to leave. And it's about 11:30 at night. And he tells me, Joe, man, you can't leave. I said, why? He said, Joe, we're going to start having dinner. I said, you're going to have dinner at this time? I said, Floyd, you're going to find a couple of days. He says, Joe, that's the way my training regimen is.
Yeah.
Part of my system is, I eat. When my fighter is sleeping, I'm awake. Comes fight time, that's around the time I get up, doing my regular schedule. So that means I'm fresh. I'm ready to go. My opponent's ready to go to sleep. So his body is ready to go to sleep. I'm ready, I'm just waking up. And he said, and the way I eat, come on, I'm going to teach you everything. I'm going to show you everything we're eating tonight. He took us to the chef. She was cooking. And before I give you what we ate that night, we're going to go to a brief commercial.
Oh, my God, no.
I'm going to leave you guys hanging. I'm going to leave you guys hanging.
Oh, tell me during the commercial.
We'll be right back. Okay, fans, we're back here. Joe Cortez on the Fair but Firm Show with my co-host, good-looking pretty boy, John Zemel.
This is too much.
Okay, fans, you were listening to a little while ago about...
Yeah, you left us hanging, Joe.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather, after he gave me the all-access tour of his house with ESPN. That was just before the Canelo fight a couple of years back. And I remember we're talking about when he took us to the kitchen, we were going to have dinner at 11:30 at night. I said, 11:30 at night? You got to be crazy, Floyd. And there was only 5 of us sitting at the table there. And Floyd said, well, Joe, I'm going to take you over to my chef. Took me to the chef. He said, Joe, you know what? First of all, he said right in front of her, he said, Joe, I pay her $1,000 a day to cook for me. I said, wow. Any openings?
Yeah.
I become a chef too,
I'm
man.
in the wrong business, man. Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, so she was cooking some nice lean steak and vegetables. It's a nice brown rice. And it was really a nice, healthy. It was just like the best dinner. It was so well prepared, and the seasoning and the vegetable was so great. I'm not too much of a vegetable guy, but that vegetable we had that night, it was great because the seasoning on it was good. And that's what I like about food. If the seasoning is right, I'll eat it. If it's not right, I pass on it.
Scrap it, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I've been talking about these welterweights, Mayweather, the kind of weight that he just...
Speaking of weight.
He walks around real light.
We're talking about, the difference between, Big Baby and like a Deontay Wilder, 100-pound difference. Obviously, at heavyweight, it matters less. But in the lower weights, every pound matters. And we talk about that all the time. So when you look at a fight like what was just announced, a big fight between 2 top 10 pound-for-pounders in Errol Spence Jr. versus Mikey Garcia, what do you take away from that? You have a guy who's, 29-0 in Mikey Garcia, who has been absolutely dominant in every fight he's been in, moving up 2 weight classes to fight a guy who's also top 10, who might be the greatest welterweight on the planet right now. Most people aren't giving him much of a chance, but do you think he sees something that maybe, he has to see something, right?
Me being an ex-fighter myself, we study fighters. We study their styles.
I mean, he's not calling out Terrence Crawford.
No, because he figured everybody's talking about Spence, how good he is. He wants to wipe him away.
Yeah.
But he sees something there. He said, if he continues to fight the way he does, I could see an opening. And it's constant. That's a habit he has. I see an opening. Now, nobody else sees, but Mikey Garcia sees that little opening. Probably certain openings. He said, when he makes a move this way, he's always open here. That's why I'm going to come up with a devastating either body shot, combination to the body, to the head.
Yes,
he
sir.
sees some opening. He says,
Clearly, yeah.
He said, I see it like nobody else can. He said, put me in there with him, you see. I'm going to put him away.
If Mikey Garcia beats Errol Spence, does he become number one pound for pound for you?
You know what? I won't say pound for pound, but I will put him up there with one of the top three.
I mean, yeah.
Sure.
I don't know, man. I think he's definitely number one.
But
I think you knock down Errol Spence a little bit if he loses to Mikey, but I think Errol Spence is as good as advertised. I think so is Mikey.
Yeah.
But I think he sees something. The styles make fights, but weight classes exist for a reason, and there's a reason most people aren't giving Mikey any chance. But I don't count on any fighter. You know what I mean? And anybody who, like we talk about on the show a lot, anybody who will call out other people, who takes the biggest challenges, who wants to fight the best, I have nothing but the utmost respect for, and I cannot wait to see what happens.
Well, Mikey Garcia, people are going to be saying, how come he never fought Lomachenko?
Yeah.
Lomachenko is a 130-pounder, and Mikey went up 135, 140, not to 147. I mean, that's a fight that the fans really probably had wanted to see.
Yeah, well, we know the obstacles there. It's the promotional team. I mean, we don't take sides in this.
But that would have been a good fight.
It would still be a good fight, and I think he can still get that fight. But it's getting close, right?
But, Lomachenko is a 130-pounder. I mean, Lomachenko will have to come up.
He's at 135 now, right?
Yeah, he's at
I think his next fight's 135.
He's fighting Jose Pedraza in Madison Square Garden, and that's going to be at
It's gonna be a good one. I think that's December 15th. Let me just talk about the schedule real quick for December, because I know that it seems kind of slow right now, but it's about to get so exciting out of nowhere. On December 1st, we have, like we talked about, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, which is an absolutely awesome fight in every way. On that undercard, you have so many big names, and so I'm sorry, I'm looking for the schedule because I want to get it all right. On that undercard, you have so many big names like Luis Ortiz. You have all kinds of other guys that are just so exciting. And
Joe Joyce.
Joe Joyce is going to be fighting on that
heavyweight
undercard.
for Great Britain. He has a 6-0 record. He's only 33 years of age, but you know what? He brings a lot to the heavyweight division.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is coming back to that for that fight, he has a lot of fans. That's a big one. Jared Hurd is going to be defending his IBF and WBA junior middleweight title.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is fighting Angulo.
Yes, Alfredo Angulo. Yes, that's actually going to be a pretty fun fight.
Yeah, well,
for everyone involved.
Well, Angulo has been a fighter has been kind of really on the way out a couple of years ago already.
Yes, sir, we thought.
But it's a good fight for Chavez and get his name up there. But he got to do something real quick.
Also, Adonis Stevenson is going to be fighting on Showtime that same night against Alexander Gladzik, which is for his WBC light heavyweight title. A lot of people see him as the greatest light heavyweight on the planet right now. Right. Then you have 1 week later.
Right.
You have Vasily Lomachenko on December 8th versus Jose Pedraza, with Isaac Dogbe defending his WBO junior featherweight title.
A lot of good fights before the end of the year, man.
Yes, exactly.
And then we're talking Sean Porter, talking about Sean Porter fighting Ugas.
Yes.
Another tough guy. Ugas got a good shot there, but
Canelo's going to be fighting Rocky Fielding, David Lemieux, Devin Farmer, and Joseph Parker. You have so many big names.
A lot of big names, big fights.
And then closing out both Charlos and the Chisora White fight. I mean, what more could you even ask for?
Exactly. And fans, I'm going to tell you one thing that before we wrap it up, I want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving for next week.
Absolutely.
And make sure you watch your diet. We've been talking about eating healthy.
End up like
please,
Jarrell.
Don't stuff your face. Please some of that for me. Hey, guys,
happy Thanksgiving, fans.
Happy Thanksgiving. Always having a good show.
Absolutely.
Always a lot of fun being with my co-host, John Zemel.
I appreciate it, man.
You listeners out there, remember, keep your guards up at all times. And remember, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them up.